Welcome to Her Fund Talks, the podcast where we deep dive into gender conscious investment and female entrepreneurship. I'm Milena Stojceva, your host, and today I have the great pleasure to have a conversation with Raya Drenski. Raya Drenski is a brand strategist, lecturer, and PhD researcher determined to prove that branding is the missing glue between female founders and funding, connecting potential perception, what women build, and what investors are looking for. Munich-based and globally active, she has helped over 1,000 founders turn their experience into visible, credible brands through her signature workshop, Brand Like a Girl. I love this, Raya. Featuring at conferences and institutions in Munich, New York, Vienna, Maribor, Sofia, or Zagreb, as well as by the European Innovation Council's Women Leadership Program, which empowers women to build their brands with confidence, clarity, and courage. What a great partner to have in this podcast. I think we share a lot of similar stories, vision, energy, passion for what it means to create enterprises and also to support them to grow successfully in our countries and internationally. So, Raya, let me start with a question that I often am asking my guests, whether they see a reason for this gap to exist. We know the statistics. The statistics are still dire. They're showing that there is a gap. But what are the primary challenges that women-led startups face when they secure funding? And is this gap increasing? Is it decreasing? Does it come from perception or from performance? A few questions out there. Let's start.
Well, I actually think that the funding gap is just a symptom. The real issue is that our system still misreads female founders. It doesn't always recognize authenticity, nuance, or what we call calm confidence as strength. I believe that we've built an investment culture that rewards one tone of voice, one narrative of leadership, one archetype of ambition. So it's not women that are underperforming, they're just being under recognized. And that's why I strongly believe that branding can change that. It's the glue that translates value into visibility. It could be the bridge between what women built and what investors actually see. The challenge isn't that women need to pitch like men. It's that the system needs to start measuring differently. The system should start hearing what they have to say differently. And honestly, I'm sick and tired when I hear women should do this, women should do that, women should be more of this or that. We are already doing enough. I think the system should start listening differently.
This reminds me, we've had these conversations also with other partners who are male and who've been saying that women don't need to do too much of a acting, let's say, to be more like the men. It's the other way around. However, what you are saying is that there are exterior factors. So it's on the outside, but it's part of a much bigger system, and we need to start poking that system or making it maybe experience the need of a change. So, how do you see, of the project that we're running, Her Fund, which is supporting female founders with training programs, with education, but also with matchmaking activities. How do you see these projects or actually platforms like this contributing to bridging the gap for women-led startups?
What you are doing with Her Fund and all the stakeholders involved is so necessary, and we can never get too much of this kind of opportunity and support for female founders. I think the talent is there, the ideas are there, the funding even is there. What we need to do is connect the dots and to give these women with great ideas more visibility. And this is exactly what you're doing with her fund, amplifying female voices. And I'm so happy that I have my small opportunity to contribute to that. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, it's great to have you, and I really expect that we continue this in a sustainable way because I don't see this as just participation in the podcast, which is doing actually a job that is very necessary. As you were saying, we need to start amplifying that message so that it gets the recognition. From your experience, since you've mentored quite a few startups, how can we empower more women to articulate their value with clarity and courage instead of downplaying their achievements? Because we know that women are often a bit more modest, let's say, or not as vocal as they need to be when they present, they pitch.
I think it also requires a bit of cultural change. The fact that I'm based now in Munich, but I come from Bulgaria, I can also see many differences. When we were in school, still back in a post-communist era, raising the hand and asking a question during class was often frowned upon. It was almost considered like we haven't understood something, so we need a little bit of clarification. And here in Central or Western Europe, if you participate, if you raise your hand and have a question, it means you're involved, engaged, and you have something to say. So I'm hoping that we all, as women, stop falling into that mold that we should fit into certain expectations. And having a voice means that we are arrogant. Not at all. Having a voice means we have something to say. We want to be part of the conversation. And this is exactly what I'm trying constantly to do with Brand Like a Girl. Give more women the voice they already have with clarity, confidence, courage to speak up and to have a seat at the table. And I very much like
What is different in these workshops? Can you just describe maybe a few specifics that make it
the
special?
magic of the workshop itself is the collaboration with other people. Because if you're building your personal brand, you can do it with so many different resources. You can ask ChatGPT, you can check what others are doing. But the real magic happens when you're there in the workshop talking with other people and asking them what they have heard from your story, how they can be your mirror so you can cross fertilize with so many different opinions and see how the others feel what you're saying, how you're being seen. This is the real power. We very often just keep doing what we're doing without asking for feedback. And it's so powerful because in our human nature, we're such good people. We want to help others. So if we simply ask, what do you think? How does this look like for you? Tell me more. Is my pitch clear? Is my expression well understood? Everybody is going to help you. We just don't ask. So in the workshop, I force others to ask and to be seen.
Yes, yes. So can you share a specific example of women-led startups that were facing, we know, significant challenges? We've been talking that there are these challenges, a story that you want to share that might exemplify what we've been saying.
I thought about this, and there are so many stories. One that exceptionally pisses me off is that very often during funding rounds, women are hiding their pregnancy. And even yesterday, I was reading a post on LinkedIn by Jenny Stojkovic. She's an investor in the Silicon Valley, and she just admitted she's already having a baby. She was hiding that for over 6 months. And this is happening in the States, but it's also happening here in Europe. Female Invest, a very big company in Denmark, also one of their co-founders was hiding her pregnancy. In Bulgaria, it happens. I was reading a story as well. So I don't understand how we can praise founders for living and breathing their idea 24/7, but when women intervene their personal life with the professional, all of a sudden it's a problem. I don't really
I
understand
have to
that.
admit, I personally have an experience that I wasn't hiding, but that the fact that I was going to have a baby was considered something that was not so much in line with the expectations for the growth of the company. So I personally suffered from this. What you are saying makes uh, has actually a personal impact for me as well. I think I thought that these times were changing. But as you were giving this as an example, maybe it's more in the investor circles that such stories are stronger. Well, why do you believe branding then should be considered a strategic growth infrastructure rather than a communication tool?
Uh, right now that I'm in the middle of my PhD work and I'm so deep into investigating how branding is being considered in the startup ecosystem, I still see that many founders consider it as a decoration. And to me, it's really the
Yeah.
direction
Mhm.
because you need to know from day one what are your values, how you want to communicate, who are your people, how you're going to differentiate, how your personal brand is going to impact the whole journey, because this is what investors want to see at the end of the day. It's not just the idea, because the idea might pivot, but whether you have the grit, the stamina, the resilience, all it takes to keep going when the tough gets tougher. This is what investors want to see. And to me, this is branding. And branding is everything that can make it or break it. So I really hope that founders would stop underestimating its power. And we'll see how this could be really the missing piece that is helping them shine.
Yes, wonderful. How do you see then different platforms, organizations, institutions, and stakeholders collaborating to maximize this impact? And would you have a recommendation for some of our networks to do a better
Ah,
job? I mean, yes.
I think also you with her fund, you can serve as the connector of all connectors. And there are so many players out there. We just need to create a coherent narrative, combining them all and helping almost create this customer journey for the founders. What are all the resources out there? Because resources are available. Female founders just need to be aware what help they can rely on. And at any step of the way, it's accelerators, programs, trainings, networks, even evening gatherings. Pretty much now is the event season. We can be at conferences 3 times a day if you want. So all of this is helping build a network. I love this saying that goes, build your network before you need it, because you never know who your next bridge builder is going to be. So try to be out there, and also building a personal brand. Many people understand it as building digital visibility, being more on LinkedIn and so on. This is valid, but it's only one side of the coin. Still, life is very much happening out there, very real. So we have to be also present, and finding the opportunities starts with listening a podcast like this, and then pushing ourselves to be more out there and to meet the people that we need.
Yes, so I think what you were saying is really spot on. I would add also that we need a focus, as you said, a place that is well known, a go-to place,
Mm.
so that people can easily access it. And in addition to that, a critical mass of people who are recognizing to achieve that critical mass, so that from there on, maybe we can make the turn, flip flip the direction of the development. So if you look ahead, what would an innovation ecosystem look like for you, where funding and female leadership are already in balance, are finally not something to be concerned about?
Imagine that we reach as female founders such heights that we're so well represented, so visible with living our dreams and our opportunities that male founders should call themselves male founder. Imagine that.
Okay.
I really
Another
hope
way.
that we stop calling ourselves female founders and just founders. I hope that this would be the world for my girls. I have two girls at home. And if the world is not very just right now, I hope that at least when they grow up, this equity that we dream about is going to be the norm and not something that we have to constantly strive for. What do you think? I'm curious about your point of view on this
I was
topic.
just going to say that I think what you're bringing forward is something we've been discussing, and I personally believe that this is not about feminism. It's about the fact that we just need to bring the opportunities, the economic opportunities, closer to female founders, and also in the investment circles to have more understanding of what it means to be missing out on because of stereotypes or because of lack of knowledge or because of maybe some fear or certain expectations that are prior to
Mhm.
this experience. And I am actually dreaming of a time where we don't need to differentiate male or female. We're thinking about how to make things happen faster and to serve better societies and our economies. So thank you so much, Raya. Would you have last words you want to share with our audience?
This is something you said in the beginning. We have a lot in common. And this is something I really admire in you. And I think we have in common is that we don't want to just state the obvious. We want to be the solution to the problem and not just to mention that there is something out there. There is a gap, there is a problem, there is an issue. We are actively participating in trying to solve it. And this is what I really admire and learn from you as well. And I'm very glad that we crossed paths and we get the opportunity to collaborate.
Thank you. Thank you, Raya. Thank you for the opportunity to share these great stories. And I think we all going to learn from you. Brand like a girl. It's a power. Nice
Thank
having you with us. Till the next time, dear listeners and viewers.
Thank you. And now I'm going back to class. My students are
Thank you.
expecting me, and we will be talking about entrepreneurship. Imagine that when we were at university, we were not talking about it. We were never thought about entrepreneurship, and things are changing really fast.
Yeah, great. Have a good day.